Hello, Internet. We're going to be doing a little bit of streaming here again. Trying to force myself to do this a little bit more frequently, Don't want to keep talking about my nerves related to streaming, so we're just going to jump into it. We are on our stream save. We're going to be picking up in the apartment building where we left off. I don't know how much time I have to record today. It's already almost 8:30 p.m. where I am, and my family is out of the house, so I thought, why not try to record while the house is quiet and I actually have the place to myself. Hopefully, they'll probably be home any time now, but hopefully they can keep their noise under control. I gave them a speech, a couple days ago. I made a little sign for my door with a pink highlighter. It says "Rec," and it has the big red circle, to show that I'm recording. So hopefully they're respectful. I think, it's funny when I talk to my family. So we got a hostile police bot. I remember you. You killed those zombies that I didn't think you'd be able to kill. I'm not, I don't know what their capabilities are. They give the riot gas, right? They emit a gas around them that subdues you. And I think these are the ones that handcuff you. So if you have a weapon in your hand, they have a problem with you. In fact, if we take the weapon out of our hand, does that make him not hostile? Go ahead and drop that, and we'll check. Still hostile. I think if you drop your weapon, they'll handcuff you, and then you have a period of time where you can't do anything with your hands because you're handcuffed. Although I have not seen that happen in like 2-ish years, so I'm not even sure that that's still functionality that they have. Yeah, I told my family, so my family knows I record for YouTube, but they don't know my YouTube name. They've never seen my footage. They've never heard me talk because I take great care not to involve my family in any way in that sort of stuff. And on the one hand, it's nice because it's a level of anonymity that, I welcome and is a good thing. But at the same time, let me pull up the overlay here for a second. But at the same time, it's a little bit of an issue with it's not real to them, right? It's not real to them that I stream. To them, this is just, some random thing that I do because they never see me do it, so they don't really, all down and to the east. I did not know I was this close to the hotel. That's bad. Let's go back into the forest to try and block line of sight with some of these enemies. Some of them may get to us, but we're going to block up this way. That freaking police bot as well. I don't really want to deal with you. I didn't bring a gun with me, police bot. It's still pretty far away. We don't need to worry about the police bot. But going this way should, alleviate some of the exposure to the southeast there. And so for them, it's like it's not real because it's not something they see me do. They haven't seen the product of my labor and things like that. So for them, it's like he says he's like the other day, I was speaking to my female relative and I had just bought this new microphone and she saw the microphone stand, which I told them I had bought because we had discussed the stimulus check and I was like, I'll just save most of it and put it in the bank for my car repairs, which funnily enough was exactly $1,200. But she was like, do you still do YouTube? And I was like, yeah, like almost every day for the last year I've been doing some amount of YouTube. And it's just interesting that they don't even register that I do this. So I put a sign up and I said, look, I want to start doing more streaming. Streaming is live. And, of course, they're like, well, what does that mean? And I say, okay, well, normally I record and I can edit things out. But in streaming, if you walk up the stairs and you shout my name, everyone on the internet's going to hear my name. If you come upstairs and you're on the phone, people are going to be able to hear your phone call, and you don't want that. So I tried to explain to them, the gist of it. And I don't think that they get it, and I don't think that they see it as having any kind of value because I said, hey, I'm going to be streaming, and she said, well, why are you going to do that? And I said, well, the money is better with streaming. Ultimately, I would like to earn a little bit of a supplemental income through this, even just a tiny bit every month would be very helpful. And her immediate question was like, "Oh, well, how much are you gonna make?" And it's like, it's not really about that right now. Like, yes, the money long term is something I'm interested in, but it's not really about that. It's more about, I love Cataclysm. I want to generate content for this game, and I follow closely with the development, and I'm part of the community. And her immediate thought was like, well, how do you turn this into money? I want, she immediately jumps to, if it's not making you money, why are you doing this? And in fact, at this point, hey, you beautiful bastard, says C Black 47. Her immediate jump is like, well, why do this if you're not making money? And they don't get it. I mean, I don't know if I get it. I don't know why I put so much effort into what I do. I do love this game, and it is what it is, I guess. Who is she? I got here late. Just a female family member. I mean, I throw out. It's weird whenever I talk about family. I try not to throw out my specific relationship to them, because I'm 32 and it's embarrassing that I live with family members, instead of a wife and children and whatnot. But yeah. So other than my brother, I try to keep the familial connections pretty vague. I don't know. They don't get it. Her immediate. And I told her, it's like, it's even if I monetize, let's say I was able to monetize on Twitch or YouTube, the income is going to be real bad. C Black says he lives with family. Yeah, but that's like your wife and children, as opposed to me, living with, like I still live with my brother, despite the fact that we're both in our 30s. I don't know. I try to give them money, as best I can. I pay for like all my car repairs, which is like my biggest expense. And I buy like 90% of my own food. I have a huge shelf over here. When coronavirus came, I went a little bit overboard with the stockpiling of food. So I have probably 2 months worth of soup and just, general foods that I eat on a regular basis. So like I pay for all my own food. I pay for everything with the car, and I try to pay them, a little bit of money every month. I pay for our internet, stuff like that. And it's like, I try to give money, but it's not really the same as paying rent or something. And I don't know, sometimes I talk to people, especially people my age, I'm 32, and people are like, oh, you still live at home. It's like, yeah, I mean, I had some legal trouble, and I had just a smidge of mental illness makes it really hard for me to function like as an actual, like, I'm not a high functioning individual, despite the way that I sound a lot of times. People, it's jarring as well, because people hear like that I'm an intelligent guy, and they can tell, through conversation, I'm a likable dude. And then you try to explain to them that like you have actual, like, real pretty severe limitations on, like, with anxiety and PTSD and stuff, and people don't really get it because they hear you as this like well-spoken, articulate, interesting individual, and they don't understand that there's way more to that than just, oh, he can talk, really well in a social situation, so obviously he's fine. Well, no, it's not amazing. Anyway, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent. We're thirsty. We really should be, this early in the game, we really should be exploring more and gathering more stuff. At this point, we hit the LMOE shelter, which is crucial, I think, in getting a lot of these early game tools. Is super, super helpful. Then add in some stupid body stuff. Yeah, my stomach issues as well. More and more as I'm getting older, I'm noticing how, like, actually physically crippling they are. Like I said, I was going to stream Wednesday and Thursday, but it was like, the first day it was genuinely so bad that I was like laying on the floor, just curled up, and was like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, I don't know if you've ever had like food poisoning or something, where you just kind of curl up and you're like, just get out of my body, I want to feel better. It's kind of like that, only all the time. For you have some body stuff. Oh, I didn't know that. Apologies. I talk about myself. What am I gonna do? So we should definitely be exploring, especially given that canned foods are busted pretty bad. So we don't have the long term food stores that we would normally have at this stage of the game. Normally, day 2, I would have a huge collection of canned goods that I know would last me for several weeks in game. Again, all this stuff will perish in the next day or so. Actually, it said that yesterday. Some of this should have gone bad. Did it go bad? We have nothing rotten. Maybe the shelf life is incorrect. Maybe they are sealed cans. Let me grab a can of chicken here. Chicken. Yes, give me a medium tin can. It's not empty. Yeah, I guess it's gonna all spoil. I guess it's gonna spoil. So we'll leave that be. Yes, my dog has been barking as well all day, so if you hear the pupper in the background, we'll just eat a bunch of soy milk here. See, I took 2 doses of soy milk. Now I'm hungry. It just doesn't seem right. So we probably should go out and explore. I don't think we're going to sit inside and just read or whatever. I think we'll go out, especially because we did heal so much overnight. I don't see a reason to feel quite full and a bit sluggish. Yeah, is that going to go up to engorged? Doesn't look like it. So we'll just head back out. This Nord is not amazing. What can we make a quarterstaff? I like the quarterstaff. What kind of damage does this have? 26 bash damage, and it's all one type of damage. So if you're new-ish to Cataclysm, it's generally better to have one high damage weapon or damage type weapon rather than having that damage split. So here 26 bash is something I would prefer over 13 bash and 13 cut, and the reason for this is because when things have armor, it applies armor on both regards, so you end up doing much less damage. Whereas if we have 26 bash, all we have to do is beat the bash armor, and most likely we'll get more damage through. Plus the quarterstaff has some good techniques to it, including that high block ability. Let me look at the Nord here, and a +3 to hit if I remember right. Although I just closed the window, so I don't know. This is 16 damage spread over 2 different damage types, which is, fine for day 1. I would really like that quarterstaff though. Actually, didn't they change the quarterstaff? Doesn't it require something else now? Long stick, leather patches. Both are very easy to get. Nope. Looks like, looks perfect. And it's durable. So we'll pop outside and grab a long stick to make ourselves a quarterstaff. Plenty of leather gear. Oh, seeing a lot of zombies to the west, south, and west. I'd like to kill that feral runner so that he doesn't like pop up on me in the nighttime somewhere. Can't see me, huh? There you go. So we'll kill him really quick. Maybe should have worked on getting the quarterstaff first. Our clothing is becoming an increasing issue as well. Because we don't have the means to repair it, and because we don't really have replacements. So like the motorcycle armor, getting damaged early is not great. We really would like that to last us for a while. And yeah, to our east there was a firefighter. I don't really want to fight you, so we're gonna head out north. Doesn't look like we pulled anything from the hotel. Looks like there's one coming at us. We'll deal with this guy. Yeah, the family doesn't get it. Her first thought is money, and why are you doing this if it's not earning you money? Why do these have 1,000 charge? Did they just change, batteries again? Yeah, all these light batteries have 1,000 charge instead of 100. They might have changed it to... They might have, just to add some granularity, they may have made... Oh, wait, no, it's carrying a plutonium fuel cell? That doesn't seem... Light plutonium fuel cell? Why do these things have plutonium in them? Okay, that must be a new... That surely is a new thing, because I would have noticed plutonium batteries flopping around. So I did just update. Maybe should have read what the update changed. Anyway, let's get a stick. This is not an instant rich gig. Yeah, I mean, and my goal is not even to be rich. My goal is to like supplement my existing work just enough so that so yesterday, I don't know, I don't like to talk about money a lot because it's like I I guess I was raised that like talking about money is tacky and something you don't do. But like last night, I went to the convenience store and I was gonna get. Well, I wanted a bear claw. I really like bear claws. I like almonds, and yeah, there's a bear claw there, and it's like one of the high end bear claws because like you can't just get a cheap packaged bear claw the way you can get like a crappy Danish or whatever. So this bear claw was like $2, which to me, you know, it's so dumb. I just had these big car repairs, and I looked at this package for like a full minute and was like, can I afford to spend $2 on a bear claw? And I was like, oh my god, I'm actually agonizing over $2. Like, how pathetic is my life that $2 is so significant of an amount of money? And it really made me sad. You know, I drove the rest of the route and I was thinking about it like, man, I should, like, I regretted it. I was like, I shouldn't have bought this bear claw. That's $2 I could have spent on something else. That's $2 that could have gone into the bank account, whatever. And I actually felt bad about it. So, like, I don't need to be rich. I just would like to get to a point where I don't feel bad when I buy a $1.50 cup of coffee or something like that, you know? Because I don't know. I'm poor. I don't have a lot of prospects. What can I say? It is what it is. All right, we need some leather patches. We should have some leather gear around. Didn't we just take off? No, those were cargo pants. Surely we picked up more leather. Yeah, these belts mean nothing to me. So we'll go ahead and butcher these belts for some leather patches. But yes. C Black says, been telling you to set up a way to donate. Yes. Yes, he has. In fact, is one of the reasons I'm streaming is because we had a discussion about being a Twitch affiliate, being able to monetize, and I thought that you had to be a partner. I don't have anything set up to get people to support me. I have had over the course of the YouTube channel, maybe like 3 to 6 people have asked me, hey, I want to, you know, donate some money. I want to send you something. I want to do some kind of, you know, benefit for you doing this. And honestly, a lot of it is just my self-esteem. I feel like, so like I want to monetize on YouTube because for me, it's like, I don't want to ask for money. I don't like asking for money. I don't like the idea of people just giving me money. It makes me feel funny. So what I would like to do is just, if you guys watch the content, all I'm asking for is your time. And if YouTube, you know, advertises and pays you for that, all I've taken from my audience at that point is their time, which is something I'm already taking anyway. So that feels way more comfortable to me than being like, hey, I have a Patreon, give me money. It just feels weird. Stop being silly. Well, it just makes me uncomfortable. I don't know what to say about it. I will at some point, especially if I get to the point where I can monetize on YouTube, which probably by the end of the year, based on the rate at which numbers are going up, ish, maybe, I don't know. It's not going to be very much money there. If I can monetize on Twitch, whatever, that presumably won't be that as long as it took on YouTube. When that point comes, I'm going to set up an LLC because I don't like the idea of just slapping my name on it and having the money come to me personally. Laws in America are built for businesses, so I would like to take as much advantage of that as I can. So I will set up an LLC and I'll start funneling that money there. And once I monetize in some capacity, I will set up a Patreon for people who want to donate directly. At the moment, I have not monetized anything, so I'm not going to be doing that. And I know that that rubs some people the wrong way. Like I said, you're not the first person to really kind of press me. I mean, you pushed me a lot about it, but you're not the first person to bring it up and say, like, why aren't you doing this? You should be getting some kind of, you know, reward or validation or something from this. Oh, I want the rubber hose because we're going to refill our lighter. We don't currently have a fire starting source. Oh, I do have the rubber hose. I do have the hose. I don't know. Money's one of those things, you know. I grew up dirt poor, so for me, I have a low bar, you know, on what is, like, I think the average income in America is like 60 grand or something. And it's like, I have never come anywhere close to that kind of income. Where I'm from, you know, my family, people like the men work in factories and the women are wives. Like, I live in a very rural area where it's very traditional values. Women are raised to be homemakers and men are raised to learn a trade. And that's, you know, if you don't fit into that mold, then you leave because you go to college and you see what the world is really like and you get away from that kind of mindset. But people in my area, those are the things that are expected of you. People expect men to just grind their life away in a factory for just barely any money. You know, I worked in a factory. I made $9 an hour to sweat bullets and work really, really hard. And it was like, I'd rather be dead than do that, you know? So I have very low expectations on like incomes and reasonable needs and things like that. And I know I've had people say like that's, so when I was incarcerated, man, prison comes up a lot. I try not to talk about it because people get all like, oh, you were in prison, huh? Which is upsetting to me. I dropped the lighter? No, I have the lighter. Why can't I refill this? Reload it, maybe? You don't have any gasoline? We might have to put it in a container as a middle step before we can put it in the lighter because it's been messed up. But when I went to be incarcerated, I thought my life was going to be that. I thought I'd get out and I would end up working in a factory basically until I died because I would have no opportunities. And I met a guy who was very much like, no, it doesn't have to be like that. You can still have a life, you know, you can recover from this. It's not, you know, going to be the rest of your life being miserable. You just can't see it right now because you're in a bad place surrounded by bad people and you can't really process that you can get past that. So he really helped me with that, seeing things a little bit differently. So a thought for you, that time that I have to watch your video to give you a small amount of ad money is a crazy amount of time versus I can just send you some coffee money. And I will continue to push sorry not sorry. I have to come up with a way of using advertisement money. I mean, okay, I don't know. We'll assess and we'll see about things in the future. But today at least it's not something that's going to it's not going to be changing today. And anytime I look at LLC, you don't have a suitable container. I have a mug or something. Copper pot. Copper pot can't store gasoline. I think we need a proper bottle. I don't really, just head in the apartments. Surely there's a bottle laying around we could use. Having a lot of issues with fluids and things in containers and we talked about this ammo type charges are causing a lot of issues right now. Plastic bottle. So let's unload the sports drink, pour it onto the ground. And let's try pouring this into the gasoline into this. We can also activate the rubber hose directly, pour in a container, plastic bottle. There we go. And now we should be able to reload the lighter. Fill the lighter and we still have gasoline left over. Good. Now we have a fire source, which is good. Yeah, my life was like I couldn't foresee any goodness coming out of my life. I thought life would be terrible forever, and I had a guy who I think he tried to mentor me. I don't have a battery. I mean, this is a drivable vehicle other than the battery. We do have an issue with the controls missing. So I don't think we're going to be able to fix this, but other than the battery, it was a good prospect. Dead battery, which is also leaky, but it has not enough wheels. So move on here. Seeing a lot of zombies. Check this. Engine, tank, battery, no wheels, and everything else is fine. I think you need electronics 4 to do something with the to be able to remove controls. Mechanics 3. Maybe I'm thinking of crafting it. But we definitely don't have the skills to cobble together a vehicle anyway. I just thought, you know, the earlier you get a vehicle, the earlier you can set up a recharging station, the better off you'll be. This hotel, I don't love that this is right here. This is going to continually generate monster density that we're going to end up seeing and having to deal with. I guess we hit these last few houses in the area here. Parking garage might be a good prospect for picking up some vehicles. Yeah, and I met a guy who was like, you know, basically, he just took a shine to me. I don't know if I've talked about him before. He is, I mean, I'd have been like 23, 24. He would have been like 50. He was definitely an older guy. Um, I think, I mean, if I'm being honest, I think he had a little bit of a crush on me. I know he liked younger guys and whatever, but we became friends. And he would often talk to me about business opportunity. He would read a lot of business books and stuff like that, and he would always push. And that's kind of where I got that quote. He's always saying things like America was not built for individuals. The laws here were built for businesses. Businesses get a lot more in the way of benefits and what they can claim more than a personal individual can. Do a lot of that stuff. So he was always pushing like, just get out and start a business. And I would say to him like, I don't know, how do you just start a business, without an idea, without a product? How are you going to make something from nothing, And he would get these they were like magazines, and they would encourage people to like, hey, we'll send you whatever the product is. Your job is to assemble it, and then you just, you send it back, and we give you a few pennies per object assembled or whatever. Like these really stupid, I'm sure they're not real, like solid businesses. I meant to close that and I smashed the window. I'm sure they're like, not pyramid schemes, but like, it's not a good thing to do. And he would often talk about pyramid schemes, and I just, they would just send you these random products, and your job was to recruit and sell them. And it's like, none of that ever appealed to me. It's a gun safe behind this shelf. We don't have the means to pick it, but. And yeah, he was really big on that stuff. He would read a lot of books, like, is it called The 7-Hour Work Week? I think I have the book. I think he gave it to me. And it was all about, how to minimize your time spent doing something. This is a big, empty, disappointing basement. I guess this is a bathroom. Oh, it's where the heater and stuff is. The Fletcher's Friend. We already have one of those, actually. And his whole thing was like, oh, well, like some famous person in American history said the fastest path to wealth as an uneducated person in America is through land ownership. So like the general idea is you do something, no matter what it is. It's a regular job, it's a self-started business, whatever, and your goal is just to make enough money to buy your first property and to go from there. And I've always been interested in owning property. I know landlords get a bad rap, but like, I don't know, that always made sense to me about, renting out properties and things like that. And that's something that interests me, but of course requires capital or a mortgage, and no one's going to give a mortgage to a guy who earns $300 a week before taxes, like no, nobody's going to give that guy a loan. So that's something down the road. Would love to own some properties. When I was a kid, I mean, it's one of those things that pops up in video games. This also has a plutonium battery. Why did they change that? I don't like this. I don't like plutonium fuel batteries being standard. I'm gonna have to check GitHub when I get offline here. Or now I could do that on camera, I guess. But